If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful true stories. The late afternoon sun stretched across Maplewood Ranch, painting the tall grass in gold. Birds perched on fence posts, and the wind whispered across acres of land that once belonged to one family, the Turners. And now, David Turner, a man in his 50s with a weathered hat and calm confidence, was finally coming home. After 20 years serving as a federal land auditor, David had seen every kind of property dispute in America. But this one was personal. His father had passed, leaving him this land, the same land the new HOA of Silver Oaks Estates claimed was theirs. When David parked his truck by the gate, there was already someone waiting. A woman in a blue blazer, arms crossed, an expression sharp enough to cut steel. Her name tag read, Karen Hopkins, HOA President. She marched forward, red-faced. "You can't park there. This is private HOA property." David looked at her calmly. "Ma'am, this land's been in my family since 1954. She scoffed. "That's impossible. The HOA took control of this parcel last year." David reached into his leather folder and handed her a document. "That's funny, because this says otherwise. Deed, tax record, and federal land grant. All still in the Turner name." Karen didn't even look. "Those are fake. I've seen this before on people trying to squat on HOA land. You need to leave." David smiled slightly. "You ever heard of the Federal Land Audit Office?" "No, and I don't care. I'm calling the police." He tipped his hat. "Go right ahead." 15 minutes later, flashing lights rolled down the country road. 2 officers stepped out, young, unsure, clearly caught between authority and confusion. Karen marched toward them. "Officers, arrest this man. He's trespassing on HOA property." David handed over his badge. "Gentlemen, before you do that, you might want to run that ID." The officers glanced down. "Department of the Interior, Federal Property Division." Karen's voice faltered. "What is that supposed to mean?" David's eyes didn't leave hers. "It means every HOA in this state reports to me." The younger cop blinked. "Wait, you audit HOAs?" "That's right," David said, "and I think it's time I start here." Karen's mouth dropped. "You can't audit me. I'm the HOA president." David stepped closer, voice calm but firm. "Ma'am, that's exactly why I'm here." The officers stepped back, realizing they were standing in the middle of something much bigger. The next morning, word spread across the neighborhood. "That guy in the cowboy hat? He's a federal investigator." By noon, half the HOA board was scrambling to find paperwork. David parked his truck by the clubhouse. The board was waiting inside. Uncomfortable smiles, fake courtesy, and too much perfume trying to cover fear. Karen forced a grin. "Mr. Turner, this is all a misunderstanding." "Sure it is," David said, opening his briefcase. "Mind explaining why your HOA collected $4,200 in rural maintenance fees from land that isn't legally yours?" Silence. He placed down a file, photos, dates, signatures. "You've been illegally billing residents for land expansion that violates state zoning." Karen's eyes darted around the room. Those were board decisions." David nodded. "Good. Then the entire board will face the audit, not just you." A board member stammered. "Is that criminal?" "Depends," David said, snapping the briefcase shut. "On how honest you are in the next 24 hours. Karen slammed the table. "You can't come in here and threaten us." David leaned forward, voice steady and low. "Ma'am, you called the cops on the wrong man. Now I'm calling Washington." The next few days were chaos. Inspectors arrived. HOA emails were subpoenaed. Every shady deal, every maintenance project, every dollar misused, exposed. Residents who'd been bullied for years now stood outside the clubhouse with signs, "Justice for homeowners. Down with HOA corruption." Karen tried to save face. She held a meeting on the lawn, yelling into a megaphone, "This man is destroying our community." From the back of the crowd, David replied, "No, ma'am, I'm saving it." The tension snapped. One of the board members whispered, "He's got proof, Karen. It's over." She turned pale. Later that evening, as the sun dipped below the trees, the real police arrived, this time with federal agents. Karen's voice shook. "This is ridiculous." The agent read her rights. "Karen Hopkins, you are under investigation for fraud, misrepresentation of authority, and falsifying legal records." The neighborhood watched in stunned silence as the once powerful HOA president was escorted away. David stood quietly by the fence, the same one where Shiwadi once told him he didn't belong. Officer Daniels approached.